A couple of weeks ago, me and Mrs. Bricker had a long weekend in London, starting with our MCM Comic Con trip for Whatnot, and then where the magic happens at the Harry Potter Studios. So it's day 2 of our big trip out, and we're actually at the Harry Potter Studios. It was Comic Con yesterday. I'm super tired. So is Mrs. Bricker. We're actually at Harry Potter Studios, and we're super excited.
Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, let's do it. Now I will audio describe some of this for you as we go through, and even outside all those ones in the alleyway. Fantastic bit of aesthetic. I think everything here is magical, so much so that I'm not going to talk throughout the entire video. There are a lot of sounds and sights that are better summed up without my audio commentary, and a lot of background noise that really encapsulates just how much fun everybody was having at the Harry Potter Studios. If you're new here, if you're a Lego Harry Potter fan, or indeed a Harry Potter fan, please do consider subscribing to the channel. We've got plenty of Harry Potter stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks and months, but sit back, relax, and enjoy this tour of one of the most magical places here in the UK.
Hello and welcome to the Warner Brothers Studio Tour that makes.
This, however, was one of the moments that I was kind of really looking forward to prior to the tour, and that is, of course, entering the Great Hall, and it did not disappoint, I do have to say. It is quite overwhelming in size as you go in, and incredible attention to detail. Not entirely sure how I feel about the floating candles that are sort of hung up by string. I know that's how they were originally done in the Philosopher's Stone, hung on fishing line, but wasn't entirely sure about that. And the props didn't disappoint either, and a lot of this video will be a lot of the props, molds, prosthetics and animations that did go on behind the scenes, and some things that you'll be very familiar with, some things that look even more grand in person, just like we're seeing there. And the illusion trick from the 3 broomsticks as well, very clever, not as long a corridor as it looks, and one that I think is really clever, and you'll probably see further in the video as well. And that Hogwarts Hogsmeade sign is probably one of my favourite pieces of decor. I wish there was a way of getting that inside of the Lego room. That would be really cool. The one thing that really stands out for me throughout this entire tour was the grand size and nature of just everything that was used as props in the films. There is no sort of attention to detail spared. Everything is huge, is detailed, looks fantastic, and even things like this where you would go to the Pensieve, really cool, really nice. So much sort of beauty in the detail there, and that is not a sentence you normally hear on the channel. And as it was the Triwizard Tournament, there were some performative pieces by the Durmstrads and the Beauxbatons.
Eternal glory! Extremely dangerous task.
See.
Oh wow. Oh, it's up when you get in there. That's pretty cool.
There we go.
Yeah. Got your hair wet. Lots of cool sights and sounds as you moved around, and including the animatronic and still working Gringotts cart, which I thought was very cool. I don't necessarily know that they needed to animate that and have it sort of operational throughout the day, but it was very, very cool to see, particularly those moving sort of wheel pieces that were all going in different directions. Very, very cool. There I am outside of the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets, which I thought was really nice. Again, really grand, huge, incredible attention to detail, that sort of rustic feel. This was very sort of intimidating to be stood underneath because the size of it is actually huge. I don't know if that necessarily comes across the same way in the films, but the actual size of it was huge, including the Magic is Might statue was actually so big it's cordoned off. And what I really did like, I've got to say, was the Ministry of Magic. The detail, the texture of the green and the black there looks fantastic. It felt like you were in the films, and yeah, I've got to say every single part of this tour felt fantastic to be involved in. It was fantastic to go and see Buckbeak and go and meet him. I did bow, but he didn't really have a lot to say to me, but a pleasure to meet him, and less of a pleasure to meet Aragorn, and yeah, that is not comfortable to be around. Very, very big, and yeah. One thing that was, of course, a must and something that happens all the time at King's Cross Station here in the UK is a trip into platform 9 3/4 and that trolleyway in the brick. Really fun picture opportunity that Mrs. Bricker couldn't pass up on. And as you went into the Hogwarts Express, you saw that there was a number of different carriages, each one depicting a scene from a different film, as you see there, Prisoner of Azkaban with the frosted glass, so very, very cool. And as you move into different carriages, you'd see different things, such as the Quibbler from the sixth film, and lots of cool little knickknacks and little Easter eggs if you know the films well, as I'm sure if you're watching this you probably do. A must, of course, while you're there is, of course, butterbeer, and I've got to say, I've had butterbeer before. I don't really enjoy it, and yet it is something you kind of have to do whilst you're there.
There we go.
Ice cream.
How is it?
How is it?
Yeah,
It's
how
ice creamy.
is it?
Yeah, like butter.
It tastes like cream soda.
Privet Drive was the next stop, and I've got to say this actually exceeded my expectations in quite a big way. I sort of didn't expect it to be anything like the images you're seeing on screen now with the levitating envelopes. I just didn't think this would be as magical as some of the other stops on the tour, purely because of the muggle nature of the house. I didn't think there'd be that much cool stuff inside, but it was very, very fun. And the night bus, something again which is huge in scale and actually built with double deckers painted together, which is a little tidbit that you learn on the tour, and I'm sure Potterheads will already know that. We got also the fantastic opportunity to get a hold of a mandrake. We didn't get to replant them, we did get to pull them up, and it would have been fun to replant them, but I think that's a sort of a disaster waiting to happen, particularly when the children are around. A lot of fun, it has to be said. The scale of the props department was incredibly impressive, and the reality is that only a certain amount of the props actually used, and the amount of the molds that were actually made were actually on display here, and you can see some absolute fantastic molds that you've seen throughout the films, and yeah, again, not everything that was used made prototypes and first drafts, all that type of stuff isn't shown. It was just basically the final designs or anything that had been used in the film. So the scale of what they were doing from a props department is absolutely crazy. There was also something quite haunted about the fact that there was a sort of baby Voldemort from the eighth and final film that did actually move occasionally, and that was something that was animatronic, and yeah, it was quite harrowing every time that it just sort of jolted or moved about a little bit. These guys really. Yeah, fantastic. Not a lot to say about those. The kind of attention to detail was fantastic. I'm more interested, however, in the Gringotts Bank. The scale of this room I cannot understate over a sort of video. The scale of it is huge. The texture of the marble, the diamond looking chandeliers, the lights, everything. This room is one of the most grand rooms that I have seen. It almost might be more grand than the Great Hall, and there's some little Easter eggs sort of scattered throughout, which was really, really cool. And of course, there is the vault door to get the Philosopher's Stone as well, which I thought was really cool. Again, the detail on the vault door, so good. When would you see that? Gringotts was pretty cool, but the next thing that happened was a standout moment for me and Mrs. Bricker. Just take a look at this. Hopefully, the screen does it justice. And finally, the thing that I had been waiting for the entire trip, and it wasn't the gift shop, it was, of course, Diagon Alley, and this was monumental. It feels amazing. The cobbled streets under your feet, and the Weasley joke shop in the very corner there. It's just magical. It feels just like when you see Harry visit Diagon Alley for the very first time, and the first time you film, you feel like that kid all over again, and I absolutely loved it. It's probably my favourite part of the studio tour. And after all that, it was time, of course, for the gift shop, and what trip would have not been complete without picking up a wand. I picked up the Elder Wand. As you may have already seen on the channel over the last couple of weeks, this vlog is slightly delayed due to how busy we have been. We were tempted by a little Niffler, and of course we had to stop by and see what they had in terms of Lego, but nothing that we haven't seen already, and nothing on sale, that is for sure. I was certainly looking at some of the other more collectible items. Would like to get the books again. Things like Defense Against the Dark Arts and that Potions book are things that I have had in my Amazon basket for quite some time now. A Funko Pop might be on the cards, but it wasn't today. Mrs. Bricker had more intention of looking at the Christmas decorations than anything else in the height of summer. There was also a Honeydukes shop as well, with all of the confectionery in, including some Bertie Bott's every flavoured beans, as well as some chocolate frogs as well, both ornamental and with actual chocolate in as well. So that is just about it for this video. It's a bit late, it's a bit delayed, it's a bit mismatched, but it is all of the fun that we had over that weekend. And if you're a Lego Harry Potter fan or a Harry Potter fan, stay tuned on the channel, because we have tons of Lego Harry Potter and Harry Potter stuff coming up, including that new great tower that we will be showing off on the channel and displaying with the rest of Hogwarts. So make sure you stay tuned.